Good evening, everyone, to our April 16th council meeting evening session. We're now calling this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicole Reynoso.
Present.
Councilman Rafael Pinedo.
Present.
Councilwoman Dina Cabral.
Present.
Vice Mayor Maureen Porras.
Here.
Mayor Christy Fraga.
Present.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Reynoso.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda order of business. Do we have anything additional from this morning? No, I think we're gonna continue with the order that we had from this morning. All right, we will now go into public comments. Public comments is now open. Please approach the podium if you would like to speak to anything on this agenda or anything germane to this council. You have 3 minutes to speak in a respectful manner to this council. If you did not fill out a comment card, please visit the clerk so that you can fill one out. State your name and address for the record. Now would also be a good time to put your phones on silent, please. Anybody who would like to speak? Being no public comments, we will close the public comment portion of this meeting. Madam Clerk, if the record reflect, no one has chosen to speak at this time. Okay, we will now go into our morning items that we left pending. Madam
Correct.
Clerk.
So, Madam Mayor, if it's okay, we'll start with the 2 lay down items and then we'll go to the items on consent that were.
Actually, let's
backwards?
go ahead and go into in the same order we were in, and we'll do the lay down at the end.
Okay, sounds good. So then we will go to item 6C. A resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a settlement agreement with Navarre Peña, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and providing for an effective date. This was pulled by Councilwoman Cabral.
Okay, Councilwoman Cabral, this is your item.
Thank you. I just want to say that I already have the information that I needed from the city attorney. So thank you for taking the time this afternoon and meeting with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Would you like to place a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. If there's no other questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral, seconded by Councilwoman Pinedo. Councilwoman Cabral.
Yes?
Councilwoman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item.
Next item, 6D, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a settlement agreement with Glenn Storzenberg, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date. This was pulled by Councilwoman Cabral.
Okay, Councilwoman Cabral, this is your
The
item.
same. I already have the information about this item through the city attorney.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to place a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. There's no additional questions.
Motion to approve made by Councilwoman Cabral, seconded by Councilwoman Pinedo. Councilwoman Cabral.
Yes?
Councilwoman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 6G, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the award of fiscal year 2025 cycle community-based organization grants in the amount of $33,350 to AmeriPlus Community Services Corp., $2,450 to Doral Contemporary Art Museum, $3,150 to Doodoo Arts Inc., $3,750 to Everlasting Dance Foundation, $3,750 to Miami Dynasty, $4,300 to Passion por la Pesca, and $4,250 to SVC Foundation, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date. This was pulled by Mayor Fraga.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. I actually reviewed all the applications for each of the organizations that applied. There was 3 that were left out, which I felt were not only beneficial to the community, but also equally deserving. And so I'd like to ask for us to fund them at $2,500 apiece. If there's any questions, I spoke to the CFO in the manager's office, and there is funding that we can allocate. And so I would request that we please go ahead and fund those 3 organizations as well, if anybody has any questions.
What? Yeah, what?
It is, give me 1 second, sorry. So one of them is Memory OK Corp. The other one is Power to Voice Corp. And the other one is Education for All. All of them nonprofits. If there's no objections, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam City Manager or City Attorney, do you need additional clarification on the funding? Or I believe the funding source was identified by the CFO.
No, the funding source was identified by the CFO. We're good on that.
Okay, just want to make sure it's clear on the record. Okay, if there's no more questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve, made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much for your support. We move on to the last pulled item.
Second to last, Mayor. This is M and P.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed M. I only had P.
Item 6M, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida pursuant to section 2-322 of the city's code of ordinances, authorizing the city manager to utilize the General Services Administration contract number GS07F0031W negotiated with Millennium Products in an amount not to exceed $1 million for the purchase of license plate readers, LPR, and equipment, authorizing the city manager to expend funds from account number 001-6005-500-647, providing for implementation and corporation recitals and an effective date. This was pulled by Councilwoman Cabral.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilwoman Cabral. The floor is yours.
Thank you for meeting with me, the city manager and city attorney, for providing the information that was not included in the agenda. And I understand there was, let's say, sensitive information. So thank you for sharing that with me and going over it.
Okay.
A motion-
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral,
Second.
second by Councilman Pinedo. Any other questions? Okay, being none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilwoman Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, sorry. Now we're going into the final pulled item.
Item P, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, authorizing the city to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, a component of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, as a participating United States governmental agency, authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement and to do all things necessary to effectuate this resolution, providing for authority, implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date. This was pulled by Councilwoman Cabral.
Okay, Madam Clerk, thank you very much. Councilwoman Cabral, you pulled this item.
Yes, thank you. I decided to pull this item because I know that it's a sensitive item and so many residents that have already reached out asking questions, and I know that they're very concerned on how things might be handled, how things unfortunately have been handled in some other states and municipalities. So I know that this was our police chief who placed in the agenda, and I wanted to, through the mayor to the manager, I would like to ask some questions to our chief.
Yes, Chief, if you could come up, please.
Through the mayor to the councilwoman, if I can lay down just a couple of facts and issues with regards to this before the chief speaks.
Yes.
Do
Yes,
you-
Mr. City Attorney, yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Councilwoman. I just want to, for the council members to understand the reason why this item was brought before you. This is an item that pretty much all of local governments, sheriffs, offices, municipal police departments have been asked to enter. And the Attorney General, James Othmeyer, has taken the position that not signing the letter is violative of Florida statutes 908-102. What 908-102 is, it's called the sanctuary city law. And what sanctuary city, the definition is, a local government that adopts or a law or a policy that has that impedes a law enforcement agency from complying with either immigration law or impedes a law enforcement agency from communicating, cooperating with a federal immigration agency. In this letter that they sent the city of Fort Myers on March 18th, 2025, the Attorney General opined that the council disapproving the signing, it was a 3-3 vote, so it died, the motion. And by dying, it said that the city had violated the sanctuary city law, 908-102, and that it could, and I quote, states, sanctuary policies are not tolerated or lawful in Florida. Immediate corrective action is required. Failure to correct the council's action will result in the enforcement of all applicable civil and criminal penalties, including but not limited to being held in contempt, declaratory injunctive relief, and removal from office by the governor. Recently, 2 days ago, on April 14th, 2025, in the city of Orlando, the council who had signed 287G decided to take an action or pass a resolution that would somewhat minimize what the police department could do. And in a similar fashion, the Attorney General sent a similar letter threatening that it violated 908-102, and that by doing so, the city of Orlando could face criminal, civil penalties and a removal from office. I can tell you that in the case of the city of Fort Myers, what ended up happening is that the city reconvened and they did pass the 287G, and I believe that the city of Orlando is also not passing that resolution. Attorney General's opinion are not necessarily binding, but they are persuasive, and most local governments follow their lead. I can give you one example. Earlier today, we did pass a resolution authorizing myself as a city attorney to take action against the tax collector should the tax collector decide to withhold the 2%. That whole argument is based on Attorney General opinions from 1970s. The city of Doral does not allow for certain electronic participation to count for quorum based on an Attorney General's opinion of what quorum means and their interpretation of statute. And that's something that's followed by the entire state. So Attorney General opinions are extremely persuasive and they are followed and they're meant to. Besides that, the Attorney General does have the authority to do what he is stating here in the enforcing criminal penalties and civil penalties amongst all of you. Passing this is painful for all of us. We're all immigrants. I'm an immigrant. Everyone here is. We all have families that derive from different places where right now, there's great suffering for what's going on and the confusion. Nevertheless, we all took oaths to defend and protect the law. I took my oaths, and you did as well. And this is one where we have very limited discretion on what we can do. We're being mandated by the state to take certain actions, and if we don't, we're being threatened with criminal penalties. So I kind of wanted to put that out there. This is not something that the city wants to do, I know, but it's something that the city is pretty much being mandated to do.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Madam Councilwoman, you had a question?
Yes, like I said, the reason that I pull this item is because of the how sensitive it is, and I know that there are many questions from our residents, and I just want to go through those ones. I don't know if you have some of those answers already, or then for you to keep in mind, because I would like you to answer those ones then later on, because they're important for our residents. So within, one of the first questions is that I want to know, have you already been in contact with ICE? Have you already meet with them prior to this meeting, to today's meeting?
No, I haven't had any communications with anybody from the ICE office. This is just a preliminary.
If you can get closer to the...
Yeah, I haven't had any communication with any supervisory staff from ICE regarding this item. So it's just in the infancy stages right now. And, after today, we'll see, based on your vote, how we move forward.
Okay, so I'm just going to proceed with some of the questions that I know that are concerned from our residents.
Sure.
And like you said, you haven't met yet with them, but anyway, maybe you have already an idea, or you will be able then to answer those questions later on. So some of them is, what are the department policies regarding detained requests from ICE?
Well, we have a multitude of MOUs, memorandum of understandings with law enforcement agencies, not only in the local and state level, but at the federal level as well already. We have, under color of law, a duty to act and assist our, partnering agencies. We haven't been requested at this time to agree to assist in any dealings in terms of immigration. Our primary focus is not immigration matters in our community. It's something that, as a police chief, as a son of immigrants, and been here 2.5 years, I have a deep love for this community, especially the Venezuelan community. A lot of them have become close friends of mine, but we have a duty to act as well and follow the law. And we have an amazing legal team as well, and the current interpretation is that this is a mandate and we will, follow the law. My opinions come second. Our duty to act and be responsible comes first. However, the primary focus of the Doral Police Department is the safety and security of residents in this community, and our officers are not currently trained or equipped, nor is it our mission to enforce immigration laws in our community. When we conduct a simple traffic stop, our officers are not.
Sorry to interrupt you. It's just because I have a few more questions.
Well,
so
maybe what I'm saying is answering some of it.
No. So that's why I just wanted to go over them and
But I
try
wanna
to
finish.
have a short answer.
Sure, but I want to
so
finish.
then I can go over the concerns.
Sure, I want to just finish a statement I was saying, and the primary focus of our officers during encounters with citizens do not involve questioning regarding their immigration status. We are here to serve and protect each and every person in this community, regardless of their immigration status. Now, during the course of our investigations for extreme felonious acts or anything related to that matter, if during our investigative process it comes to light that the person is in this country illegally, there may be additional charges that that person may face. But
Thank you.
but the primary encounters that we face on a daily basis, not me here, because for me to stand up here and say that I do the work of the men and
sorry,
women
Chief.
behind me, I know.
I'm
but
going to cut you, please, because then
No,
I
well,
have to go over
Councilwoman-
and we have many
but-
other
but-
things.
yeah, but-
It's just
but-
going to be quick.
Let me
So-
clarify something, Councilwoman. Your time is not counted when he's responding because
That's
he's
fine.
responding.
It's not about my
Excuse
five.
me, I'm speaking right now.
It's not about my 5 minutes. I have a set of questions, and I just wanted to go over it.
Yeah,
It's
I-
great that
Councilwoman?
you're putting your statement, and that's great. But the thing is that some of the questions it might be within already, and I don't want you to be repeating. So,
Councilwoman,
so
Chief,
it's
one
just
second.
that. It's just that.
Councilwoman,
So
when the chief is responding, he's not just responding to you, he's responding to all of us.
I understand, but
So-
I'm the one making the questions, not you or any.
But I'm
of you
chairing
that
the
are
meeting.
here. And that's okay. But I already request that I want to ask some questions. It's been granted to me, so this is my time,
Tell you what,
and that's okay. So-
here's how we're gonna handle this. No one will be interrupted. If the chief needs to finish his statement, he'll finish it. And then you will have the time to ask all your questions. No one is going to take that away from you. However, I think it's unfair to not allow someone to finish a statement when you're asking very sensitive questions. That's how we're gonna conduct ourselves here.
Let's do this. Could you please then give your statement at the end? If there's something that is not included within the questions that I'm asking you, I would love for you to give your statement. Listen, I am not here to attack anybody. I'm
none of
just
us
here
are.
to
None
make,
of us
because
are.
this is like how it sounds like. I asking these questions because these questions are important for our residents. Like you said, we are here to protect them. Like you said, I am also the daughter of an immigrant. I am an immigrant too, because I came here when I was 25 and expecting my second child. So I know how it is. I went through the process too, like everybody else. So I just want to ask these questions because I know that there are many people that they want to hear the answer. And like I said, if there's some answers that you don't have right now, that's okay. If not, we can have these, you can give those answers later on, because I know that many of them might be after you already have, the plan, that you already have sit down with ICE and whatever other agencies that has to be within. So it's not, we do understand and we know that you already have shown that you're here to protect the community, to look after us. And I do understand that, and I'm pretty sure that everybody knows that. But I just wanted to go through these questions, and like I said, there's some that you might not have the answer right now, and that's okay. So it's just that.
I understand what you're saying, ma'am, but the statements that I am making reach far beyond the communication between you and I and those in this room. The officers, my officers, that encounter these questions every single day out in the community, it's important for them to recognize that the leadership in this city respects the valuable work that they do every day. And we are not communicating amongst ourselves only. We have media outlets here. We have residents here in this community that love Doral, that love our police department. And my responses are not only to your questions, but to the questions that we get every single day. The men and women behind me that are behind the scenes doing the work every day. So even though
I
there
am
may-
not stopping you to be able to do
so
your
that's, so
comments,
that's,
but to
so
do
that's
it
the reason that I'm,
afterwards.
that's the reason that I may be expanding a little bit on my responses. And please, I don't speak often up here, but give me the chance to address
I'm
this
not
from
stopping
a
you.
global perspective. Thank you.
I am not stopping you to answer. I'm not stopping you to be able to give your statement. I just wanted to go through the questions, and then you will have all the time that is allowed by the council for you to say everything that you want to say.
Thank you. Next
So,
question.
and yes, I do appreciate the police department. I actually was the chair for the vice chair of Park and Police for Kids here. So, how do you plan to balance enforcing local law while ensuring immigrant communities feel safe reporting crimes?
By our actions every single day, ma'am. Whether it's a coffee service, whether it's a coffee with a cop event, whether it's one of the mayors or the vice mayors or any of our elected officials, amazing events that go on this community, our officers are there hand in hand each and every day. The backbone of our agency is community policing. The relationships that we've made with this community far exceed any law in this country. The bonds, the relationships in our schools, our school resource officers building the rapport with the students, our community outreach unit visiting homeowners associations on a daily basis, are the number of warnings that we give instead of citations in the community, the educational campaigns that we embark on through social media platforms, communication platforms, through digital media, through a host of channels. That's what ensures the trust in the community partnerships that we have established in this community, not only for the last 2.5 years that I've been here, but over the 17 years that the men and women behind me, over the 17 years that those two majors have been in this department, over the 17 years that lieutenant over there has been in this department, they have laid the groundwork for the trust that we have in this community, and I've taken the baton, and my job is to take it to the next level, which I'm doing.
Are you planning to increase personnel, and how many, if you already have a plan to be
Well-
able then to work within this task as well?
Well, through the support of our entire elected body, our city manager, we have been increasing the number of police officers here that we have for the last 2.5 years. When I came, we had a little over 130 sworn officers. Now, with the folks in the academy, we have about 175. We will continue, but we will be continuing to staff our officers so that we can put extra cops in schools, extra cops in our intersections. Like every time there's someone that drives into our community, every single day, there's marked police cars with their lights on, deterring crime. We have over a 40% reduction in crime over the last 2 years, one of the safest cities in this country. And that comes on the heels of adding additional officers. Not adding additional officers because of this bill, adding additional officers to create additional community trust and deter crime like we've been doing.
Understand that these are questions that are brought to me, and I'm just the voice of residents that want the answer to these questions.
I love the questions. Bring them on, because
So-
all we do is keep highlighting the good work of those behind me. So
And that's why you still hear the
I love
chief and all our police officers. We always are very grateful for all the work that they do. So like I said, these are not questions to criticize. These are not questions to attack.
no,
These
I-
are just simple
I'm not
questions
taking it
from
that way.
residents. No,
If it-
no,
if
I
it
just
sound-
want
If it sounds
like
like I'm
the way
passionate,
they.
I'm passionate because I love, and not only do I love them, but I see the work that they do every day behind the scenes, in the face of adversity, often in the eyes of criticism. So it's not a popular job, it's a thankless job, and they go above and beyond. And we are successful because of their work. So I love the questions. It gives me an opportunity, a platform to highlight their good work.
I know how it is. I have a cousin that he's a police officer, and I also have a cousin that he's a military too.
Tell him I love
So that might be you already, like I said, in some of your statement, you might be already answered some of these questions, but I'm just asking you these as part of the of respecting our residents that are asking these questions. What measure are you planning to put in place to build trust in immigrant communities, given the presence of ICE in the area?
Well, I think I answered that.
That's why
the
I
last
was
few
telling
minutes.
you, how are you going to handle situation when victims or witnesses of crime may have concerns about their immigration status?
By being able to communicate during these times, we're able to use our platforms that we do to communicate. We're embedded into the community, so this provides us opportunities to communicate. I feel at the root of it that our residents, visitors, people that come to school here, people that come to play here, have trust in us. Yes, we use calls for service to educate the community as well. It's not only us responding to a call for service. We have a multitude of training, whether it's in crisis intervention, whether interpersonal skills, de-escalation. We know how to handle situations. We know that some situations are best handled with silk gloves and not maybe an arrest, looking for alternatives to arrest. And many times we do that.
Thank you. What will be the process for handling complaints or concerns regarding potential overreach in collaboration with ICE?
Well, we have an internal affairs unit that handles internal complaints. We also have the state attorney's office here that investigates certain matters involving police conduct. So we have the infrastructure and the backbone established already to investigate. But because this is in the infancy stages, because a memorandum of understanding hasn't been drafted yet by our attorney's office, this is just a preliminary. This today provides an opportunity to start exploring the partnership so that we are compliant with the law. We'll have those detailed items forthcoming.
What kind of training will the officers receive regarding federal immigration law and their limitations?
That's yet to see. I have yet to meet with any personnel from ICE to see what training our officers are going to receive specific to any duties that are required by law. But in order for us to be compliant by law, we will partake in any training that's needed. I'm pretty convinced that our officers already have a skill set and how to deal with certain matters, but any training, new training that comes out that we got to partake in order to be compliant with the law, we'll have to partake in it.
How does your department will educate officers to identify potential civil rights issues in collaboration with ICE?
I'm sure the training will cover that.
So those were the questions that were referred to me, and my duty is to be able to be the voice of the community for those ones that are concerned, as well as those ones that are also that already have their status already in place. So because as you know, and everybody knows, our community is based in many immigrants, and there's some that they're within, in the process of getting their status. Others are unfortunately haven't been able to. So anyway, we represent everybody that lives here in the city. So that's why I wanted to ask you these questions, because it was important for them, they say, that they want to hear from you. So like I said, again, this is not attacking anybody. This is not trying to put you in a difficult spot, but they wanted those answers, and that's my duty. As well as to thank you and the department. I always are grateful for everything and every work you do every day, the job that you do. You go over beyond your job description every day. So I love the department, and I always looking forward to work with all of you.
I mean, I appreciate the questions. It gives, like I said, an opportunity to highlight the work of those folks. I love the Venezuelan community. I come from, my mother from Spain, my dad's Cuban, so I'm very sensitive to the needs of the immigrant community. And my parents still don't speak English, so it's for me it's home. But we have a job to do, but we're going to do it from an amazing place. We have amazing people here. We're sensitive to the needs, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to explain the role of the police and what may come of this. I ask you to give my personal cell phone number. You have my personal cell phone number, although you rarely use it. I ask you to give it to any resident or visitor in this community that has any questions regarding our roles. Please give them my personal cell phone number, and I'll be happy to answer any question.
And now you understand why I was trying to cut you a little bit short because of the questions that I have.
It's okay.
That it was going to be redundant,
It's okay.
for you to be able to answer those ones.
Give them my cell phone number. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
I have some good questions.
Vice Mayor
Sorry,
Porras?
Chief. Chief,
Chief.
if you could,
Hold on, don't go.
thank you. I'll be brief because I know the resolution was amended, so it answered a lot of the questions that I had, actually. First, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For all the great work that you do, your commitment, your dedication, the dedication of all your officers, and I think we do have the best police department in all of Florida. So thank you for all the great work. Obviously, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of questions, and I've been trying to answer them as well. I obviously do a lot of work within the community. I'm an immigration lawyer, so I hear a lot of people, I help a lot of people, and there's a lot of bad narratives, there's a lot of myths, there's a lot of lies. And so I want to take this opportunity to ask you just a couple questions so that we can clarify some of that. The first one is, will suspicion of unlawful immigration status be a primary basis for a stop or questioning someone?
No, and profiling is another term that's been thrown out, but no, we don't partake in profiling for any reason, and that definitely will not be happening with the Doral Police Department.
Okay. There was also a rumor that the Doral Police Department participated in ICE raids here in Doral. Is that true?
That is not true.
Okay. I think those were the only two questions because the resolution really changed a lot of the wording, and I think that just to understand, this is an initial step towards discussing an agreement. It's something that I think will help the police department. It's going to also help the city of Doral to remain in compliance with both state and federal mandates. I think it's an important step in maintaining public trust as well, because our police department does a lot of community work already. And anyone that lives in the city knows that we can trust our police. And you've done so much work to build that trust that I'm fully confident that you're not going to abuse that. And we're not a city that weaponizes our police department. And so for me, I think that I just really wanted to make it clear that, one, while we don't have an actual agreement, and this is an intent to discuss one, it's not going to be designed to discriminate against anyone, nor obviously would this council ever support doing it or for that purpose. And as I said, I know that we will make sure that our law-abiding citizens and residents are not negatively affected. We do want to ensure that we are applying and also enforcing our laws because we want to continue to have a safe community. And I think that this is something that, as a city, we are going to work hand in hand with you, with the community, to make sure that it gets applied correctly. So I just wanted to mention that, and you have my full support.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Councilman Pinedo.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to thank you, Chief, for clarifying and for your statement, because I think that it really answered a lot of the concerns out there. And I want to start by saying that because unfortunately, I think that for the past couple of weeks have been a lot of misinformation out there, and especially from not only from certain part of the media, but so-called community leaders that start spreading some rumors and things that we're not planning to. Certainly, we have never done it in Doral, and I'm sure that we're not going to do it now. And that's why I want to say that I trust in your judgment.
Thank you.
And I trust in all the men and women behind you. And I do say that we do have the best police department in Miami-Dade County in the state of Florida. And that is recognized by other agencies. And the numbers that we have, since we had the lowest crime rate in Miami-Dade County. So I want to thank you for that. And I know that we're going to make sure that it continues to be that way. You have built that community policing that we have been talking about for a year, 2 years, and you have done an incredible work on that. But I also want to use this time as the only Venezuelan American of this group to ask, especially, again, those so-called community leaders to stop using the Venezuelan community as the target. Because what is going on or what we're discussing right now, it really doesn't have to include the Venezuelan community at all. I mean, this is not to target one particular community. And I think that it's unfair. That only creates more division, more panic out there than trying to find out how this is going to move forward. And we have to look back how we actually got to this point. I mean, we're dealing with this, unfortunately, because of 4 years of open border policy that was a disaster. And now our communities are facing the consequences. Unfortunately, the Venezuelan community is one of those. But I want to make sure, and I want to be clear, that as I understand the fear that many in our city feel right now, because we're a city of immigrants. I mean, it's a fact that we have close to 40% of our Doral residents are Venezuelans. And most of them fled the country for persecution, oppression, humanitarian crisis, as Cubans, as Nicaraguans, and other members of our community from different parts of the world. And certainly there are no criminals. We know that. We know that there are no criminals. There are small business owners, there are students, there are professionals, there are families that are contributing to our community every day. And it's something that I wanted to leave on the record because I recognize that too. I also, as I have been mentioning and saying for the past 2 weeks to different media outlets and reporters, this agreement, or looking forward once it's signed, certainly I know is meant to target individuals who have committed crimes, not to round up law-abiding citizens. I do believe that no one should be targeted because of how they look. as I have been saying in the past, or the language that they speak. And I will certainly make sure, as we have heard from my colleagues as well, to ensure that our police department certainly keep acting with dignity and upholding the rights of everyone in our community. So, as I have been also mentioning to the media, for me, it's not an option. I mean, I'm not 100% in support of everything that is going on. Absolutely no. I mean, this is not, we're not proposing this. I'm not the one moving forward in this. It's the state law. We're just following the law. We're following the rules. And it's something that people have to understand as well. But at the same time, to understand that we're here to make sure that not only that we're following the law, but that we're going to make sure that this is done the right way. And for me, this is not just a blank check that we're signing to the state of Florida. If by some reason we have to bring back and have a discussion about it, I'll be more than glad to do it. So, but I want to make sure the residents understand, and especially the media that is here as well, that we're here to do the right things, and we're going to make sure that it's done the right way. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Councilman. Any other comments? Councilwoman Reynoso?
Okay. Well, first, Chief, I think you did an excellent job answering the questions. I think that brought a lot of clarification to our community that was extremely needed at this point. I want to thank all our police officers as well. I know that they worked really, really hard, day in and day out. And what I would hate to come out of this agenda item is for that hard work to be affected in the negative way. And I have a message to the media. I hope that the media will use their platform to clarify what has been reported and help our police and help our city send the right message to our community. That public trust should not be affected because of this MOU. The mission is very clear. Our police is here to serve and protect, and that immigrants, all people within our community, will be protected and taken care of. That's my comments.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yeah.
I do have some final comments before we take up the item. So first, I also want to thank the Chief of Police and the entire police department, because I think you guys do a great job of being out there and building relationships with our residents. And it's so important, and I think it's always been a priority of this department. Unfortunately, as it's been stated here today, and I passed out a folder as we did a lot of research before we were told that this needed to come forward and we had to do this to be in compliance on the obligation that had been put on us by the state to comply. We have an obligation and a responsibility to follow the law. It would be hypocritical of us to tell any community, you need to follow the rules and follow the law, and then we go around and do something different. We don't just take red lights because we don't like red lights. It is the law, and we have to follow the law. And while we may not like it, as Councilman Pinedo very well said, we didn't make the law. Can we sit here and watch things that happen in court and then repeal it? Absolutely, and we'll do that. And I think that no other community has spoken up for its community as much as we all have, because we can be from the same party and have a difference of opinions and do it respectfully, but it doesn't preclude us from having to comply and follow the law. So I want to thank you for your comments, because I think it very clearly stated where our priorities are and where the heart of this city and this police department is, and we want no one to feel threatened or victimized or feel anxious about what's happening, although I know all those things are hard to put aside with what's being experienced. I've made it very clear in every time I've been asked that we are not here to weaponize our police department. I think that you humanize what the work of police officers do, which is a very difficult job to do, and it's harder today to find people who want to come into the line of public service and law enforcement because of its stereotype. And so obviously legislation like this doesn't help that. Understanding the intent of why it's done many times. And so I think our job is to continue to raise the voices of those that we know that come here to do the right thing, those who are here following the law, those who are here to provide, to be productive members of our society. But I think the most important part of this is this resolution is not the memorandum of understanding. This is giving direction for our legal department and administration to enter into a memorandum of understanding. With that being said, there were a couple items I asked to be included into the resolution, which is now before all of you, and Councilwoman Cabral, I believe this answers the questions that you asked more than anything, and so it's important to highlight what is actually in front of us. One of the whereas clauses says, it is desired of the City Council that an agreement be executed that fulfills the city's obligations under Florida law without exceeding budgeted funds. We cannot provide resources we don't have. So we're not going to take officers off of our patrol or officers off of our HOA fraud unit or officers off of certain units that serve a purpose to do a purpose that we're not responsible for having to serve. Additionally, we added in the final section, in section 2, in the last statement, it says, as a participating United States government agency to protect for operational assistance pertaining to the enforcement of laws to combat illegal immigration to the extent necessary to comply with Florida law, which means no one's going above what we need to do to comply with our obligation by the state of Florida. So while many of us may have an understanding that this is a difficult item that we are not proposing, rather doing ministerially because we have to comply, I think the department has its direction on what its priorities are. And I don't think it's ever lost its way on that. And this for sure won't steer them in any wrong direction. But we do have an obligation to comply. And we will continue to watch what happens in the courts and everything else that's being challenged, so that we have an opportunity to act should we need to in those cases. So I want to thank also our city attorney, because he worked quite some time on this. I really drove him crazy in making sure we had all of our legal bases covered so the city wasn't in any liability on either side, because I think that overall, the moral obligation of our police department is to serve and protect everyone. So thank you all very much for what you do, and we look forward to continuing to support our men and women in blue, and every single resident that lives within the city of Doral will continue to lift the voices of those who are deserving of that. So
Thank you,
we'll
Mayor.
ask for someone to place a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Reynoso. Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much all for your patience on this item. Thank you, Chief, great job. All right, we're going to take Councilwoman Reynoso's lay down item now.
Yes. May I read it into the record, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
A resolution of the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Doral, Florida, expressing support for House Bill 983, sponsored by State Representative Juan Carlos Porras, providing for transmittal, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date.
All right, Councilwoman Reynoso, this is your lay down item.
Thank you, Mayor. This lay down item has to do with House Bill 983. This was proposed by Representative Juan Carlos Porras. It has to do with homeowner association reform. Why does this matter in Doral? Many of our neighborhoods in Doral are ran by HOAs, and we often hear the complaints about lack of transparency, financial issues, not having access to important records. And this bill helps protect homeowners and gives them more rights and oversights. For that reason, I thought it was very important to bring it to this agenda to hopefully get the support of my colleagues as well to support the bill that Representative Porras is proposing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any comments?
Motion.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Porras, second by Councilman Pinedo. If no one has any comments, I do have two. First, I want to thank you, Councilwoman Reynoso, for bringing this forward, for being attentive in all the meetings, for participating during our Tallahassee visit, in all of our meetings, and taking this and running with it. We had an extensive conversation about HOA reform because it affects us deeply. And I think the most important part of this bill, if it passes, is it allows local authorities to investigate an audit and be more part of catching those fraud. And a lot of times we see our senior citizens fall as victims more than anybody. So thank you for running with this. I think it was extremely important and time sensitive so that it gets in the hands of legislators, and hopefully we see it pass and can help more locally our residents that are affected by HOA criminalization and abuse. So thank you very much. I'd like to be a co-sponsor if that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve made by Vice Mayor Porras, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo? Yes. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Cabral?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, now I believe we're gonna go into Mayor's report.
The city attorney's late on item.
Do you want to take that up now? We could take it up now. Are you good with that? Yeah, yes. Okay, we'll take it up
Get
now.
into the record?
Yes.
A resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a modification to settlement and release agreement with Doral Costa Capital LLC, Doral Costa Manager LLC, and Oasis of Doral One Manager, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date.
Okay, Mr. Goviella, this is your
Yes.
item.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this item that's before you is, as many of you are aware, back in 2023, the city entered into a settlement agreement with Oasis, as it's commonly known. It is a development, a multi-family. It was running under what is commonly known as the Live Local Act. That agreement covered most things as far as height and intensity, but it was not completely clear as far as parking. And parking has become kind of a sticking issue in this. The applicant, which is here today, being represented by Vanessa Madrid from Holland and Knight, has been wonderful in working with us. We've been meeting diligently. I want to thank Michelle Lopez and Edna and the rest of the staff, who we've also met, the mayor, the manager, everyone, in trying to come to some kind of an agreement. And so what you have before you here is an amendment to the settlement agreement that provides for a percentage of parking that is acceptable to the applicant, and we've made some concessions, and so I think it's a good compromise. It avoids having this drag on or become litigious, and it will allow the project to move forward. And Ms. Madrid, if I've left anything out, I mean, feel free to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goviella. If there's any questions, that would be the time. Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. So we're going to take up the reports at the end of the evening. I'm going to go ahead and take the public hearing items now.
Yes, Madam Mayor. May I please swear in the witnesses?
Yes.
If you will be presenting testimony on the public hearing items, please stand up, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the information that I'm about to present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First item, item 20A, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a special exception for smash paddle courts for the property located at 8080 Northwest 58th Street in the city of Doral, Florida, pursuant to section 68849B5 of the city's land development code, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing for this item. Public hearing is now open for item 25-6110. Anyone who'd like to speak on this item, please approach the podium at this time. Okay, being none, public comments is now closed. If the applicant would like to approach, I don't know if there'll be any questions. If there's any questions, I don't know if there's staff presentation. Okay. We'll let staff present, and if there's any questions, then you can come up, okay?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The applicant, Blas Sanchez, is proposing a project by the name of Smash Paddle Courts. The applicant is requesting a special exception approval to permit fitness sports facility services, including health and exercise centers that are larger than 5,000 square feet, pursuant to City Code Section 68849B5 for approximately 2.05 acres of property located at 8080 North 58th Street. The proposed project is an indoor paddle facility in an existing structure totaling 36,612 square feet, located in the adaptive reuse area, to include 7 paddle courts, a self-service concession area, some offices. The site plan also proposes enhancements to the parking area, landscaping, the addition of some bike racks, and incorporation of public art. There was a zoning workshop held on January 22nd, 2025. So this is a little bit of a unique request, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the adaptive reuse, explain special exceptions to better assist the community in understanding this process. So in our city, we have an overlay called the adaptive reuse. It's also referred to as the Downtown Doral Art District. And it's just north of the City Hall facility, bounded by Northwest 58th Street to the north, Northwest 54th Street to the south, Northwest 79th Avenue to the east, and Northwest 87th Avenue to the west. And the purpose of the district is to take buildings that already exist that are previously heavier in commercial and industrial use and convert them to more commercial uses that promote the city's arts, culture, and wellness. So an adaptive reuse is essentially a change of use of an existing structure from one authorized use to another authorized use in which the structure was not originally designed for. And so in our code, we have a series of uses that are permitted by right or uses that are permitted through supplemental or with conditions and limitations. So in this district, uses permitted by right include uses permitted in the underlying zoning districts, alcohol and beverage establishments, cultural activities and exhibitions, eating establishments, indoor pet centers, retail services for fitness, sports services, including health exercise centers limited to 5,000 square feet, parking structures, etc. There's also supplemental uses and conditions with limitations. There's 3 in this category. The first is prohibited uses, which means your zoning code says we cannot have any of these uses in this area, which include residential, hotels, lodging, medical uses, assisted living facilities, drive-through facilities, educational facilities, funeral homes, etc. The second category is special exception uses, in which this application falls under, and those uses may include self-storage facilities, indoor, outdoor halls for hire for more than 200 people, fitness, sports services, including health, exercise centers that are larger than 5,000 gross square feet. Again, this project, as previously stated, the structure is 36,612 square feet. So this specific site for this specific use falls under this category. And the third category is uses subject to supplemental conditions, which include auto truck van sales, rental storage, repairs in storage, et cetera, and then fitness sports services, including 5,000 square feet, under 5,000 square feet. And so what does all this mean in terms of use? So in our code and in other codes, we have 2 types of changes of use. When you have your zoning and your land use in place and they're consistent, you're going to either have uses by right or uses by special exception. And so uses by right only require a review by your planning and zoning department and your building department. Uses by special exception have an added layer of review, which include review and approval by the city council, and then your administrative process, which is a review and approval by your planning and zoning department and your building department. This specific site is zoned industrial with a future land use map of industrial as well. It's surrounded by industrial districts on all 4 sides. The future land use category on all 4 sides is also industrial. The overlay is adaptive reuse. And then you've got warehouses to the north, south, east with medical center to the west. So all the uses are consistent and it's exactly what we want to see on our maps. On the screen before you, you have perspectives from the south and the north, and then an overhead perspective of the site. Again, the site plan proposes 7 paddle courts, self-service concession, office spaces, enhancement to your parking lot area and landscaping, addition of the bike racks, and compliance with public art. All of the zoning data is consistent with your code. There's 48 parking spaces. And with that, staff recommends the mayor and council approve the proposed special exception to permit fitness sports services, including health exercise centers that are larger than 5,000 gross square feet, pursuant to City Code Section 68849B5 for smash paddle courts located at 8080 Northwest 58th Street. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, is there any questions for the applicant otherwise, or for staff? I think it's pretty straightforward.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Cabral. If there's no additional questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilman Cabral. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, congratulations. We look forward to having you guys in our city. A lot of people wanting paddle. Get it all the time. All right. Thank you very much. We'll move to the next item.
We're now going to first readings. Item C, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council, ordinance number 2025-14, amending Article 3, boards, committees, and commissions. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending Article 3, boards, committees, and commissions, and Chapter 2, administration of the city's code of ordinances, revising the sunset provision and appointment requirements, providing for implementation, incorporation into the code, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public comments for this item. Public comments is now open. If anyone would like to come and speak at this time, please do so. This is item 25-6137. All right, no one has chosen to speak. Closing the public comments portion. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. And this is my item. Basically, we're amending the ordinance for boards and committees once again. As I mentioned earlier when we were approving the committees, it's very difficult to meet some of these standards. We don't even impose them on ourselves as elected officials. I wasn't supportive of the change initially, so we're going to roll it back to the way it was, which has worked for 20 years. So if there's any questions, Madam, I would need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-14 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next item.
Next item D, ordinance number 2025-15, amending Chapter 8, peddlers, solicitors, and canvassers. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending Chapter 8, business, Article 3, peddlers, solicitors, canvassers, providing for implementation, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to open up public comments for this item. Item 25-6126 is now open for public comments. Anyone would like to speak, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that no one has chosen to speak at this time, and we will hear from the city attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this item is one that I worked with the clerk, and basically what occurs is that anyone that is a canvasser, peddler, it could be someone that owns a fumigation company and wishes to go door to door to sell their services, needs to first apply for a permit with the city. The way that it was currently reads is that the permit has to be sought by the city clerk, which is somewhat strange, being that the clerk is not the main person in the city to deal with permits, especially dealing with uses. That would be the planning and zoning department. So should you adopt this ordinance, it would change from the city clerk to the planning and zoning for folks that are canvassers or peddlers. This has nothing to do with political speech or religious speech at all. This is just for commercial purposes.
Thank you very much. If there's no questions, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Reynoso, second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-15 on first reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item E, ordinance number 2025-16, amending Office of Inspector General duties. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Division 5, Section 2-185, Office of Inspector General, providing for implementation, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up public comments. Public comments now open on item 25-6118. Anyone who would like to speak, please approach the podium at this time. Being none, public comments now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time, and we will turn over to the city attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In November of 2024, the city of Doral residents made a charter amendment establishing the Office of the Inspector General. Subsequently, this council passed an ordinance creating the actual rules and responsibilities of the Inspector General. There are certain sections of our code that do not deal with the general public, but really deal with the internal functions of the council and administration as a whole, especially Chapter 2. For those, there are no set violations and there's no set format for enforcing those. So it's appropriate that, since now we will have an Inspector General, that the Inspector General be given those authorities under Chapter 162 to be able to act as that code enforcement officer for the city, should he receive any notifications of citations, and investigate them and find that a citation is warranted. Those citations that are received may be appealed to the Miami-Dade County Court as provided again in Chapter 162. And that's the item that's before you.
All right, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Any questions from the council? Being none,
Motion to approve.
motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-16 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
No.
Vice Mayor Porras?
No.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, ordinance number 2025-17, penalties for violating rules of conduct. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending chapter 2 administration, article 2 city council, and creating division 5 penalties, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, incorporation to the code, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, we're going to open up public comments once again for this item, item 25-6140. If anyone would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. We will turn it over to the city attorney once again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is the companion item to the one that we just heard before, which allows the Inspector General to make citations of violations of Article 2, Chapter 2, Article 2, City Council. This Division 5 creates penalties and sanctions, and it pretty much lists out what those sanctions are, including fines, $500 for the first violation, $1,000 for the second, and $1,500 for third and subsequent violations. Should you pass this, this would be the schedule of fines that would be applicable if there's a citation is received by the Inspector General, given, rather.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Any questions from the council?
Motion to approve.
Thank you very much, Councilman Pinedo. Your motion-
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. I think the fines are kind of low, but I'll support it. Call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-17 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral?
No.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. Last item for the night.
Before your reports.
Yes.
Second reading, item G, ordinance number 2025-13, amending rules of procedure. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending division 3 rules of procedure of article 2 city council of chapter 2 administration of the city's code of ordinances, providing for implementation, incorporation to the code, incorporation recital, severability, and effective date. This was approved on first reading on March 12th.
All right, we're going to go ahead and open up public comments for item 25-6050. Anyone who'd like to speak on this item, please approach the podium at this time. All right, no one has chosen to speak at this time. We're closing public comments. And this is my item. So this is to amend the rules of procedure as we did last time, which will just efficiency of the meeting. So starting next month, we'll start implementing these rules. If anybody has any questions, there is no changes from first to second reading.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Any other questions?
I have comments.
Okay, Councilwoman Cabral.
Well, I know that I have expressed before that I have a lot of concerns with these rules. My opinion is that it's just giving the effect of being a strong mayor when that's not the type of government that we have. Reduce transparency and participation, limiting council members' ability to represent constituents, risk violation, First Amendment, and due process of protection. And like I said, and I know that somebody questioned when it comes to section 273 and number 10 that says no member shall have regular council leave. A regular council meeting without permission from the mayor, any non-permitted exit from regular council meeting shall result in a non-excused absence. And like I said before, I understand that maybe you're bringing this to yourself because I remember when I was here and you were a councilwoman, how many times you would just stand up without not even letting know anybody what was going on. And I know that I said at that time that I have here the either absence or no presence to vote, and I'm going to be able to share this because in my case, I think I just have one in what, almost 7 years that I've been here. Absence without an excuse, and there being other with excuse but has not been granted. But from 2013 to 2020, because I want this to be in the record, when it comes to resolution discussion item on 2013, Mayor Fraga had one item that she missed, 9 consent items, and on 2014 was 15 consent items that she was not present. On 2015, she has 16 consent items and 4 local planning agency, and 6 city ordinance. On 2016, it was 55 consent items, 5 local planning agencies, and 3 city ordinance. 2017, 2 discussion items, 54 consent items, 1 local planning agency, 4 city ordinance, and 1 rezoning resolution. Then on 2018, 1 local planning agency. Then on 2019, 1 discussion item, 1 city ordinance, and 1 rezoning resolution. On 2020, 23 consent items, she wasn't present. 2 local planning agencies, and with a total of those 8 years of 4 discussion items that she missed, 172 consent items, 13 local planning agencies, 14 city ordinance, and 2 rezoning resolution, with a total of 205 items that you were absent. So I don't think that this is fair, because we sometimes, like I said, we need then permission even to excuse ourselves, I guess, to go to the bathroom and all of that, like if we are in a kindergarten set. And there are many different things here that I really think that is a violation of the First Amendment right for me and any other member of this council.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
And I would like to add this to the record. I will give you a copy.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Thank you, Councilwoman. The important thing is I have perfect attendance now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. 8 years. 8 years.
actually, I've actually served for 14, but
8 years.
okay. All right, we have our motion to approve. In a second, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-13 on second reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabral.
No.
Vice Mayor Porras.
No.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go into our reports now.
Mayor's report.
Yes, so I have my report first. All right, first I just wanted to thank my colleagues and also our city manager, our chief of police, and everyone that came to the Tallahassee trip. It was very fruitful, and I think that we're going to, or at least we're on the right track to get the funding that we need, as well as see the legislation that would affect us pass. And so I just wanted to thank everybody for their participation and joining us in all those meetings. Our city attorney also participated and was present, so thank you very much. Also, I wanted to invite everyone to our National Day of Prayer exhibit and worship concert that we're going to be having on May 1st. It's going to be an incredible event. We've been very hard work planning it, and I wanted to thank IT as well as Parks and Recreation and Public Affairs for their commitment, as well as my staff, to this event, all the churches that are participating and pastors. It's been great. We did an open call to artists and got a lot of requests. Also, I wanted to thank Dulce from Public Works for helping us with the Mayor's Philanthropy Day and the Keeping Our City Beautiful street cleaning. Councilman Pinedo and Councilwoman Reynoso also joined us, so thank you for participating in that. And I wanted to give a special shout out and thank you to Mr. Fernando Casamayor. He was extremely instrumental in the fight for all cities to save the 2%, which is over $40 million that you helped us save to each municipality on the 2% from the tax collector. Those funds are going to be well utilized back in our community where they should be utilized, serving the public. So thank you, Fernando, because I got calls from every single mayor and the Managers Association saying how instrumental you were in putting together the presentation to help us convince the tax collector to back off of our tax dollars, which we use to fund important resources in our community. So round of applause to you. Thank you. I was very proud. And I just want to wish everybody a very happy Easter this weekend with your family and friends. May God bless you always, your families and our community. Thank you for being a part of the city of Doral. That's it. I don't know if I can mention, I think I can because it's already on our calendars, but Doral Central Park's opening will be on May 17th. So we'll be putting that out very soon, and we hope to see our community there, but that's the tentative date. I think it's the finalized date we will have for the opening of second phase of Doral Central Park. So we look forward, it's been long awaited. We look forward to seeing you all there. That concludes my mayor's report.
Council comments?
All right, any council comments?
I do.
Okay, Councilwoman Reynoso.
Thank you. The mayor. April is Autism Awareness Month. Just want to recognize that for this month and every month, that we are always aware of that community that we have to take care of and should be taken care of. Next, we, together with Councilwoman, Vice Mayor Porras, Councilman Pinedo, Mayor Fraga, and myself, we did the 6th annual autism bike ride that Miami-Dade County Fire hosted, which was an amazing event. Our Doral PD did an amazing job also taking care of us and putting us on the right route. We also had a productive time in Tallahassee during day days. We spent incredible amount of time meeting with our local representatives, advocating for needs that are in Doral. I want to say that they are doing an excellent job up there in Tallahassee, representing our needs, especially for our police. And Parks Extravaganza was an excellent event. Our community enjoyed it so much, and it was great to have it in our Central Park. I can't wait to see how next year is going to look. Our community garden grand opening at Doral Parks in honor of Earth Day on the 22nd. I hope our community will come out there to see the garden that has been built over the last couple of weeks. And wishing everybody a happy Passover and Easter to all those who celebrate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments? Councilman Pinedo.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to echo what you just mentioned about the Tallahassee trip. I think that was a very productive trip to Tallahassee, very positive comments that we heard from legislators over there, especially our representative. They're all happy that Doral is back on track, and they look forward to have a great year, especially to help us, to continue to help us in our city. I also want to take the chance to also recognize and say thanks to Miami-Dade College West Campus. As you know, towards the end of March, my office hosted a job fair, which we call Empleate 2025. We had, and I know the mayor was present too, we had over 1,000 participants with the collaboration of over 45 different organizations and companies, not only local companies, but nationwide companies as well. And that was a great event that we look forward to host it once again towards the end of this year. I also want to thank our Parks Department because they, as Councilwoman Reynoso mentioned, I think they did a great job in the extravaganza event. It was huge. It was packed, a lot of people. So great job. And I also want to thank Parks because and our police department because they were present at the 5K run event that took place this past Saturday at Doral Meadow. And let me tell you, that was close to 2,000 or over 2,000 people, participants. That was amazing. It's the first time that we have such a large crowd. And I want to thank our departments because I know everybody was involved. And obviously, I want to thank the organizer, Clandestino, Eduardo Orozco, all his team, because they did an incredible, amazing run and activity for everyone that participated. So I look forward to certainly the opening of Doral Central Park next month. We're all excited. I know next month is also Mother's Day. We're celebrating Mother's Day. And I want to thank our city attorney, our city staff for everything that you guys keep doing. The feedback out there is amazing. Everybody's happy with the job that you guys are doing. And we're the face. So I want to, every time that I have the chance, I want to say thank you to you guys. And thank you to the city manager, because everybody's talking about how amazing the city manager is. And everywhere that we go, they just speak highly about our city manager. So thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mayor.
Councilman. Any other comments?
I do.
Councilwoman Cabral?
I would like to begin by recognizing the recent passing of Commissioner Manolo Reyes from the city of Miami. His dedication and service left meaningful impact on his community and beyond. I had the pleasure to work with him with some issue that he had at one point, and my deepest condolence to his family and his loved ones and all his colleagues and staff. I also would like to provide a brief update on my recent trip to Tallahassee. I was able to meet with different elected officials, local elected officials, as well as our state legislators. And I had a very productive meeting with the ones that I met, even though there was a tremendous effort to jeopardize my meeting with Mr. Sosky, who is the director of the Dodge task. But I was able to meet with him. We had a very productive meeting. So I'm thankful that he gave me all his time and went over a few things with me when I was there. Unfortunately, my item, as you may know, has been removed from the agenda, but we're going to keep working on transparency and making sure that things are done the right way in the city.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Being none, Madam City Manager, it's your report.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first of all, I just want to let everyone know that City Hall will be observing the Good Friday holiday for those that observe that. And that will be on Friday. We will be closing early at noon for Good Friday. Also, I wanted to update council regarding in January, Councilwoman Reynoso brought forward an item regarding a feasibility study to implement a tree protection ordinance and permitting program. So thank you so much to Public Works and to Dulce, Carlos and Rita, who went out. They have requested proposals, and we now have a proposal. They got 3 quotes. The lowest quote was actually by New Leaf Environment LLC, who provided the assessment report back in 2019. So they will be updating that for us, and I will be keeping you guys updated once that returns regarding this. That's all I have. Thank you so much. We did have a very productive meetings in Tallahassee, and I was happy to be there. And I can only say that I'm very proud after having missed so many years in between, because I didn't do that in Coral Gables. I didn't go up to see the respect that Doral garnishes now with the city, with the state legislature, and how welcomed we were, how much we got done on the state agency that I visited. I'm very proud of that and the job that our lobbying firms are doing in Tallahassee for us. So thank you so much, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Mr. City Attorney.
The only thing I wanted to do is echo everything, the sentiments of the council and the sentiments of the city manager with regards to the trip to Tallahassee. I think it was a wonderful event. I was truly enjoyed being part of Team Doral up there, and all the meetings with the representatives, and especially the meeting that we had with the state agency. There's great things to come.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. And Madam City Clerk.
The
I know you
report
have
is
a lot to
attached.
say.
The report is attached in the backup of the agenda. And I did not go to Tallahassee,
You were
just
missed.
for the record.
You were missed. All right. That concludes our meeting for the day. Thank you very much for joining us. This adjourns our meeting. If I have a motion? Motion. Oh, we have a new motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Reynoso. Second by Councilman Pinedo. All in favor, say aye. Meeting is adjourned.